Good morning. Welcome to the May 13th meeting of the North Jersey Transportation Planning Authority Board of Trustees meeting. Before we get started, I just want to remind everyone that this meeting is now being recorded. Please mute your device when you're not speaking so we can reduce background noise. When you're making a motion, please state your name so we know who you are for the record. I also want to thank everyone for their flexibility to meet virtually today. With several graduations being held near NJTPA's office, we didn't want parking shortages or traffic to affect anyone's ability to participate in this meeting. Now, to get started, I'll ask Ted Ritter to read the Open Public Meetings Act, followed by the roll call. Ted?
Thank you, Chairman. This is to advise that in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, PL 1975, adequate notice of this meeting has been forwarded to the North Star Ledger, the Asbury Park Press, the Courier News, the Daily Record, the Home News Tribune, the Jersey Journal, and the New Jersey Herald. It was also posted in the Essex County Hall of Records here in Newark, and it's on the bulletin board of the Lieutenant Governor in Trenton, New Jersey. All right, next, I believe we'll move to the roll call. If you could let me know your name and just confirm your subregion. Bergen County.
Peter Botsolis, present.
Thank you, Peter. Essex County.
David Antonio, present.
Thank you. Hudson.
Tom Malavasi, present.
Hunterdon.
Susan Soloway, present.
Thank you, Commissioner. Jersey City.
Mike Manzella, present.
Thanks, Mike. Middlesex County.
Charlie Kenny, present.
Thanks, Commissioner. Monmouth.
Hunter, present.
Thank you. Morris County.
Stephen Shaw, present.
City of Newark.
Dolores Martinez Wooden, present.
Thank you. Ocean County.
Jack Kelly, Ocean County, present.
Passaic County.
John Bartlett, present.
Thank you, Commissioner. Somerset County.
Walt Lane, present.
Thanks, Walt. Sussex County.
Tom Dravick, present.
Thank you. Union County.
Eddie Chin Kowalski, Union County.
Warren County.
Union County.
Jason Sarnowski, present.
Governor's Office.
Dorian Smith, present.
NJDOT.
Eric Powers, present.
NJ Transit.
Jeremy Colangelo.
Port Authority.
A. Sheffield, here.
And Citizens Representative.
Charles Burton, present.
Chairman, we have a full quorum.
That's very good. Now we'll move on to the approval of the minutes. Are there any corrections, additions, or deletions to the minutes of March 11th board meeting? Seeing none, may I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Morris County will move the minutes.
Do I have a second?
Union
Sussex
second.
County will second.
All in favor?
I have Morris moving and Union second on the minutes, Chairman.
That's correct. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Are there any opposed? Are there any abstentions? Okay, we're going to move on to the chairman's remarks. First, I'd like to thank Port Authority, who will be presenting today on plans for the new Manhattan bus terminal, which thousands of our region's residents use every day. I also want to thank my fellow board members and the staff who participated in the recent NJ Transactions Conference in Atlantic City. This conference is a great way to promote the work of NJTPA and all our subregions. I especially want to thank Commissioner Shaw for moderating a session on the Mars Canal Greenway, and Eric Powers for moderating a discussion among the executive directors of the state's 3 metropolitan planning organizations, including our own Dave Barand, and Commissioner Kozlowski for being there to lend her support. I had the pleasure of moderating a panel discussion on our Complete Streets Technical Assistance Program and the demonstration library. The panel included a presentation by Seaside Heights, who participated in the program also last year. Seaside Heights was able to take the technical assistance report and use it to successfully apply for an $824,000 transportation alternative set-aside grant to make improvements to Central Avenue. This is a great example of how this program can help municipalities do preliminary planning work that can allow them to secure federal funds to make their roads safer. On the topic of the Complete Streets Technical Assistance Program, I'm pleased to announce that the NJTPA recently selected 5 communities for the 2024-25 cycle. They are Bellevue and Verona Townships in Essex County, Belmar Borough in Monmouth County, the City of Patterson in Passaic County, and Reddington Township in Hunterdon County. Additional information about the individual projects is available on NJTPA's website. I also want to share that last month, International Motor Freight, who is participating in our Transportation Clean Air Measures program, participated excuse me, in a roundtable discussion at the White House on a new national goal to reach zero emissions in the freight sector by transitioning to zero-emission heavy-duty vehicles. International Motor Freight will be using federal congestion mitigation and air quality funding to build out electric vehicle infrastructure at the Port of New York and New Jersey. The infrastructure will support new electric drayage trucks used at the port. The funding we provided will also be used to train staff to use this new technology. Once this technology is in place, it will help improve air quality in and around port facilities. Of course, air quality is among the key issues we will be focusing on in our next long-range transportation plan update, which will be getting underway soon. Another is safety. Ocean County is among 8 sub-regions working with the NJTPA to develop local safety action plans, which will provide a framework for addressing the most pressing safety needs in our counties. All the counties have created local implementation committees, which have started to meet and will help us advance the recommendations in these plans, making roads across our region safer for our most vulnerable travelers, people walking and biking. Ocean County's committee is meeting May 20th. Next week, I will also be helping Harvey Cedars in Ocean County kick off its Summer Street Smart New Jersey campaign with a news conference on May 23rd. Memorial Day marks the unofficial start to the summer season at the shore. With thousands of people heading to our beaches daily throughout the summer, it is important to emphasize safety. Last month, Commissioner Kozłowski helped kick off a campaign in Roselle Borough, which is being led by Easy Ride Transportation Management Association. We are always looking for communities to partner with on safety campaigns. Anyone interested in learning more can visit bstreetsmartnj.org. Thank you, and that concludes my report. Now we'll move on to the NJDOT. Any remarks from the DOT this morning?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Since we last met, the Murphy administration had announced the grant solicitation period for DOT's fiscal 25 state aid programs is open. That started April 29th. So applications are being accepted for municipal aid, Transit Village, Bikeway, and Safe Streets to Transit programs through July 1st, 2024. Information on these can be found at the DOT website or through the local aid resource center. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And now we'll move on to New Jersey Transit. Any remarks from New Jersey Transit this morning?
Good morning, everybody. Hope all is well. Just brief remarks. Certainly appreciate our partnership with DOT on Transit Village, Safe Routes, etc. But I just like to thank Jay in advance for the discussion on the Port Authority bus terminal, and just emphasize that New Jersey Transit has been in close partnership with the Port Authority as we try to advance that project. It's critical. Folks may not really have this top of mind, but we actually carry more folks across the Hudson River via bus every day than we do on our railroad. Both modes are incredibly important, of course, but the bus is a real key component for us as well. So just thanks, Jay, in advance, and look forward to that. That's all from me, Commissioner.
And thank you to New Jersey Transit for your hard work. We'll move on to the Port Authority. Any remarks this morning from the Port Authority?
Not at the moment, but I'm looking forward to presenting on the bus terminal project.
Very good. Okay, now we'll move on to our Executive Director report. Dave, would you kindly present your report to the board?
Sure thing. Good morning, everybody. First, I'd just like to echo the chair in thanking everyone who took part in transaction, including a lot of our staff here and board members. I believe that this was the most well-attended transaction conference ever. Something like 1,100 people were there. And we certainly were well represented on panels and at our booth. So thanks to everyone who participated in that. And with transaction, our sort of conference season is certainly in full swing. The same week as transaction, we also staffed our booth at the New Jersey Association of Counties Conference just down the road. It was really great to see a lot of board members there, including Commissioner Sarnosky, Commissioner Soloway, Commissioner Sui, and County Executive Tedesco. I didn't see all of you personally, but I saw several of you, and it was great to see you. Beginning this Wednesday, we're going to host a booth at the New Jersey Conference of Mayors in Atlantic City for the first time, and this gives us a great opportunity to promote our municipally focused programs. At that conference, we'll be on a panel focusing in part on our Complete Streets Technical Assistance Program, which the chair mentioned, and other NJTPA programs open to municipalities. And these conferences really are very, very good at helping us showcase our work and informing people how they can get involved and take advantage of the many programs and federal funding opportunities that we do have for municipalities and counties. Turning to our NJTPA planning activities, a lot of things are winding down or in their final stages with the fiscal year ending at the end of next month. Several sub-regional studies are wrapping up, including the Jersey City Traffic Calming Toolkit, Monmouth Paths, Access for All, which is identifying barriers to mobility in that county, the Newark Bike Plan, and the Passaic County Strategic Infrastructure Investment Study. Turning to work being led by central staff, one major initiative wrapping up this summer is the update of our regional capital investment strategy. That serves as a framework for setting investment priorities and targets across various categories. And in that work, we're strengthening how our investment strategy supports our regional planning goals and creates measurable outcomes in those areas, like climate resilience, equitable and vibrant communities, safety and health, and travel accessibility and reliability. And once complete, the updated investment strategy will be one of the foundations for our next long-range transportation plan, which the board must adopt by the fall of 2025. Right now, we're finalizing selection of 2 consultant teams, one for the plan's financial element and another for public engagement. And I should note that that plan outreach will include meetings and events around the region, and we are certainly going to be looking to our board members to be actively involved in supporting that effort. So stay tuned for more on that in the weeks to come. We'll also be getting plan outreach support from our Up Next Young Adult Advisory Group and our outreach liaisons, who are community members that help us expand the reach of our engagement efforts. Several of these liaisons already have led focus groups over the past month or so to develop recommendations for better reaching traditionally underrepresented populations. And in the coming weeks, we'll be talking to our Up Next members about their housing and transportation needs as part of our plan development work. We certainly welcome any ideas on how to best gather public and stakeholder input in your areas throughout the region, and you'll be hearing much more about this outreach and other elements of the plan in the coming months. We recently launched another effort that also ties into the long-range plan, and that's the update of our federally required congestion management process. With input from the subregions and others, we're taking a close look at accessibility, mobility, and equity needs involving all travel modes in the region and working on strategies to address those needs. We're also doing our freight forecasting project, which is going to wrap up about a year from now. That's analyzing freight trends out to 2050, including information on key commodities that move in each subregion. And speaking of freight, I'd just like to note that on April 18th, we hosted a workshop on behalf of the Multi-State Freight Working Group, which is part of the Metropolitan Area Planning or MAP Forum. which includes 10 MPOs and councils of government from New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, and Pennsylvania. And the speakers at that focused on how to use the Federal Freight Analysis Framework data set, which is an important resource for planning freight policies and investments. In addition, as Chairman Kelly mentioned, our work with the subregions on local safety action plans is actively underway. Next steps there include creating websites for each county to provide safety data and a way to gather public input, and also to hold other public outreach events. I also want to tell you about the next phase of Together North Jersey, or TNJ, our longstanding partnership with the Voorhees Transportation Center at Rutgers. This work is now being done under a new name, the Vibrant Places Initiative, and that work is going to continue the mission of Together North Jersey, guided by the TNJ Sustainability Plan. And you can get more information on that at the new website. You can find the link for that on our homepage at njtpa.org. On April 26th, the Vibrant Places Initiative held a forum on placemaking at VTC in New Brunswick, featuring speakers talking about how to honor the culture and history of communities through planning. There's a video of the full event also available on our website. In addition, we've been working on the solicitation of proposals for the Regional Transportation Alternatives Program, which you'll hear more about during committee reports. One of our main priorities for that program is to fund further development of the Morris Canal Greenway, which spans the state through 6 of our counties and has really attracted broad public support across the entire length of the Greenway. If you're interested in that topic, I encourage you to attend the Morris Canal Working Group's spring virtual meeting on May 22nd. You can see morriscanalgreenway.org for more information, or our website. On a related note, pleased to let you know that the Canal Society of New Jersey, one of our great partners in the Morris Canal Greenway work, recently opened an office in Parsippany, and they have historical archives there that are available to the public with deep, rich content, lots of items. And we did a short video on the archive with the Canal Society. A link to that was included with the highlights, the staff highlights that were emailed to the board on Friday. And you can also find that through our website. Just before I wrap up, and I'm not sure if she's on the meeting, she may not be, but I did want to take a moment to recognize our freight planning director, Ann Strauss-Weeder. She's retiring next month, and during her time here at NJTPA, she's led many studies and field visits, and has always brought very interesting and informative speakers to our Freight Initiatives Committee. So, Ann, hopefully you're on the meeting, but wherever you are, I thank you for all your hard work for the NJTPA over the years. And I know I speak for all of us here in wishing you the best in this next phase of your life. So with that, I'll conclude my report. Thank you very much.
It looks like the chairman might have gotten muted. Chairman, if you hit star and then the number 6 on your phone, that should unmute you. See if that works. You're still on mute, Chairman Kelly. It's the star and the number 6, or if you want to call back in. That work.
Melissa, I think he might be trying to call back.
It looks like he's calling back in.
Yeah, give it a second.
Yeah.
Bear with us, folks. It is a Monday.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Sorry about that.
I did keep hitting that *6, but nothing happened. So
I don't know why that didn't work. All right. Well, we can hear you now.
I'm upset, Melissa, that you put me on mute.
I mean, personally, but I will apologize on behalf of the guilty party.
That's a lie, Mr. Chairman. Our apologies.
Don't apologize. I'm fine. Okay, did we already introduce the Port Authority or not?
No,
While
if
I
you
was
could do
off?
that, that would be great. Thank you.
Okay, so now we're going to hear plans for a new Port Authority bus terminal in Manhattan from Jay Shuffield, Manager of Regional Transportation Policy at the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey. And Jay, you're up.
All right, great. Let me just get my screen up here and get ready to go. All right, so hopefully everybody's seeing my screen now.
Looks
Yep.
good, Jay.
Yep.
Okay, great. So I'm excited to be giving you all an update on this project. So
We're excited to have you here.
okay, so we'll just go over the project a little bit and then briefly touch on the NEPA schedule. So the existing Midtown bus terminal takes up a block and change in Midtown Manhattan, has an extensive ramp system and a number of at-grade bus parking lots. So what this project will do is really transform and replace all of this. The original building's built in 1950, expanded in the 1960s vertically, and then, as I said, onto the adjoining block across the street in 1980. Part of the issues with the existing configuration is that there are buses that need to use city streets to circulate. The ramps provide connections for most of the buses, but there are some that use the lower level that require street level connections. And also to get back and forth from these surface level bus parking lots, the buses end up on city streets. So with the new configuration, the new replacement terminal is going to be larger. Some of that's driven by additional capacity for future growth. Some of that is a result of ADA requirements and just basic human comfort. But we're adding a staging and storage facility, which will help to get buses where they need to go on time. It's also going to replace those surface parking lots. So it's going to get the buses up off of the street and really improve the ability of the buses to get onto the gate and out of the building without delays. New construction requires a new ramp network, so that's part of what you'll see here. And then there's new public open spaces that are going to be created over some decks connecting Lincoln Tunnel Expressway segments together with some of the space that's currently surface parking lots. So currently the terminal split at street level by 41st Street, and that creates some challenges for passengers who come into the wrong building, and the streetscape under the building's uninvited. So what you'll see throughout this project is a collaborative effort to deliver world-class public spaces inside and around the new terminal. These images are illustrative. The final design might look a little bit different, but these pictures really give a good sense of the scale and quality of the spaces we're trying to create for the passengers and the people who live and work around the terminal. So this is just an example of what the terminal looks like today. This is the entrance coming in from the subway level. And then this is an illustration of what the new central atrium might look like. This is an image of the existing exterior of the building. And an illustration of how we're working to open up the street level. So on 40th Street today, the existing terminal presents a long blank wall along the street. Retail is all inside, kind of like an old school mall. New configuration is going to open that up more toward the street, widen the sidewalk, and really improve that whole streetscape experience along 40th Street. This is a view of the area where the Lincoln Tunnel opens into Manhattan. And if you turn to your right, there's a surface level bus parking lot there, and then another section of depressed roadway on the other side of that. And you'll also see across the street here is the existing ramps to the bus terminal. At the end of this project, a small portion right outside the tunnel portal will still be open, but the rest of it, with those depressed roadways and surface parking lots, going to be transformed into new public open space here. And across the street, where there's currently a narrow sidewalk along those bus ramps, is really going to become a more normal street with stores along it. So we're really working hard to deliver world-class space for passengers inside the terminal, at the entrances, around the terminal, and in the parts of the community that have been divided by transportation infrastructure for decades. It's important to note that the project's necessary because some of the structure of the existing terminal is reaching the end of its life, and it just has to be replaced. But this project goes beyond just rebuilding the existing terminal, and it goes beyond just accommodating the natural growth of the bus carriers that operate there today. This has been a collaborative effort with the community and elected officials to develop a solution that improves the efficiency of the bus operations and designs the facilities to make all of this regional transportation fit into the neighborhood in a much better way. So that's the plan. And as a planner, that's the fun part for me. And now it actually has to get done. So we're currently coming to the end of the environmental review process. The notice of intent went out in June 2021. The draft environmental impact statement was published this February, and the public comment period came to a close in March. So the team's working through all the comments, and the final EIS and the record of decision are anticipated this summer. Then that brings us to actual construction, which we're hoping to begin around the end of the year. So phase one will build out the deck overs, and that's going to provide some additional space, which will really be critical to making all of this construction happen. A new ramp system will be built while the terminal is still in operation. The staging and storage facility will be built, and initially will be used as a interim bus terminal. So once phase one is complete, the operations will move from the main terminal into that temporary terminal. The existing facility will be demolished, and the new terminal will be constructed. And that concludes my presentation.
Thank you, Jay. Do any members of the board have any questions or comments for Jay? Okay, seeing none. Ted, does anyone else have a question for Jay?
Chairman, seeing nothing in the chat at this time, I don't have any other questions.
Okay, thank you again, Jay. Appreciate the presentation. Very informative.
Great, thank you.
We'll now move on to committee reports and action items, starting with the Project Prioritization Committee. I'll call on Charles Kenny, the commissioner in charge of this, who will give us the Project Prioritization Committee report. Commissioner?
Thank you, Chairman, and good morning. And before I start, I just want to say congratulations to Ann. I wish her the best. She was great to work with while I was chair of the Freight Initiatives Committee. And so I thank her for all her help. And now just give me a minute as I try to get my comments back because I hit the wrong button. All right, sorry about that. I'm pleased to report on the activities of the Project Prioritization Committee. The committee considered 3 action items, 2 modifications, and 1 minor amendment to the Transportation Improvement Program, or as we know it, TIP. Only the minor amendment requires board action. The City of Elizabeth has requested a TIP amendment to add the Elizabeth Intermodal Transportation Infrastructure Planning Project. The city received a $5 million federal Rebuilding America Infrastructure with Sustainability and Equity, or RAISE grant. The grant will be used for planning study to assess the feasibility of constructing a ferry terminal and establishing the ferry service from the City of Elizabeth to Manhattan. The Federal Transit Administration, as a condition of awarding the grant, required that the project be added to the TIP. This is listed as action item 1 on the agenda. Next, the committee considered a modification to add $11,130,000 of National Highway Performance Program funds to the TIP for construction of the Route 80, Route 15 interchange project in Morris County. The increase This will increase the total to $155 million and advance the funds as follows: 55.6 million in fiscal year 2028, 50 million in fiscal year 2029, 50 million in fiscal year 2030. The increased cost is the result of the unit price increases due to inflation, supply chain issues, and higher costs for labor and materials. This project is designed and construction is anticipated to begin in 2028 and be completed in 2032. The committee approved, and it does not require action by the board. The third item before the committee was a tip modification to add 2.5 million of bridge formula program funds for preliminary engineering in fiscal year 2024 for the Route 3 eastbound bridge over the Hackensack River and Meadowlands Parkway project in Bergen and Hudson counties. This increases the total project cost to $7 million. The increase stems from inflation and additional task activities needed to complete the environmental assessment. The modification was approved by the committee and does not require board action. Also, at the meeting, central staff provided a briefing on the financial plan updates for two of the NJDOT projects: the Route 3, Route 46 Valley Road and Notch Rifle Camp Road interchange project in Passaic County, and Route 206 Valley Road to Brown Avenue project in Morris County. Both projects have seen increases due to inflation, right-of-way acquisitions, and needed projected changes, among other factors. The allocations in the tip are sufficient to cover the increases. This concludes the Project Prioritization Committee report, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Chairman. As the chairman indicated, we do have one action item on today's agenda. It's a minor amendment to the fiscal year 2024-27 Transportation Improvement Program to add the Elizabeth Intermodal Transportation Infrastructure Planning Project in Union County. Do I have a motion to approve the resolution?
Middlesex makes a motion.
Do we have a second?
Hunterdon will second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, it moves unanimously. Okay, do we have any comments from board members on the resolution? Or any comments from members of the public? Okay, now I guess I should have taken a roll call vote, Ted?
We can still do that, Chairman, no problem. This is just to remind everyone, this is PPC Action 1. It's the tip amendment for the project in Elizabeth Union County. We have Middlesex moving it, Hunterdon seconding. I'll call the roll now. Bergen County?
Ted?
Yes.
I saw somebody, it looks like they have a comment they'd like to make. I thought
Okay.
Yes, I would.
Go ahead, Bruce.
Hi, my name is Bruce Hain. I used to live in New Jersey. I remember that eastbound bridge used to be the only one. I have done a video about the bus terminal replacement project. If I can find it here, I have to find the name of it.
Bruce, just to interject, this is the comments just on this action item. We're going to open up for general comments shortly.
Oh, all right. I'm sorry.
That's okay. No worries. So Ted, go back. Does anyone have any comments just on this action item?
All right, seeing none, we'll move forward with the roll call vote.
Okay, let's do that. Again, this is PPC Action 1. Bergen County?
Yes.
Essex?
Yes.
Hudson County?
Yes.
Hunterdon?
Yes.
Jersey City?
Yes.
Middlesex?
yes.
Monmouth?
Yes.
Morris?
Yes.
City of Newark?
Yes.
Ocean County?
Yes.
Passaic?
Yes.
Somerset?
Yes.
Sussex? Sussex County? Union County?
Yes.
Warren?
Yes.
Governor's Office,
Yes.
NJDOT,
Yes.
New Jersey Transit,
Yes.
Port Authority,
Yes.
and Citizens Representative.
Yes.
Okay, the action item has been approved, Chairman.
Thank you very much. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the Planning and Economic Development Committee, and we'll hear from Commissioner Jason Sarnowski, who will give the report. Commissioner?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I am pleased to report on the activities of the Planning and Economic Development Committee. There were no action items for the committee at the meeting, but central staff briefed us on several planning initiatives. First, we heard a presentation on the Palisades Shared Use Path Study, which is investigating the potential for creating a path on the west side of the Hudson River between the Governor Mario Cuomo Bridge and the George Washington Bridge. This is being led by the New York Metropolitan Transportation Council with our active involvement. Central staff will brief the board as the study progresses. Next, we were informed that the state's 3 metropolitan planning organizations are accepting applications for the Regional Transportation Alternatives Set Aside program. This is a popular program that covers a wide range of non-traditional transportation projects, which cost $1.5 million or more. As Dave mentioned, the NJTPA's priorities for the program are projects that advance the Morris Canal Greenway or the Regional Active Transportation Plan, including bicycle and pedestrian improvements. Central staff has been compiling a list of candidate projects which must be submitted to the New Jersey Department of Transportation later this week. The NJDOT will then open its online submission system, and subregions and municipalities who are on the NJTPA's list will be able to submit formal applications, which will be considered for this competitive funding. The committee was also briefed on recent federal funding opportunities that are highlighted on the NJTPA's Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act webpage, and on the award of Complete Streets Technical Assistance, which the chair mentioned. That concludes my report. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you so much. Any questions for Jason? Seeing none, we'll move on to freight initiatives, and I'll call on Commissioner Stephen Shaw, who will give us the Freight Initiatives Committee report. Commissioner? Commissioner Shaw?
Commissioner Shaw, you're muted, sir. There we go.
Sorry
It's
about
star
that.
6. There we go. Now we can hear you.
I got you. Sorry about that. So it's like deja vu all over again. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm pleased to report on the activities of the April 15th Freight Initiatives Committee meeting. As Dave noted in his report, Ann's retiring next month. We began the meeting by thanking her for her years of service supporting freight planning in the region, and we wish her well on her retirement. The meeting featured the committee's annual port industry update. Our first speaker was Beth Rooney, Port Director at the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey. She said that the volume of freight handled at the port has moderated in the past few years following the large surge of up to 28% during the pandemic, which severely strained the port's capacity. However, port traffic remains higher than pre-pandemic volumes in 2019. In recent weeks, the port has handled cargo diverted from the Port of Baltimore after the bridge collapse over there. She also provided an update on some port improvement projects that are advancing, including a southbound rail connection and upgrades to road access from the north. The agency also issued a net zero roadmap, including commitments for each port department to reduce greenhouse gases. We then heard from John Nardi, president of the Shipping Association of New York and New Jersey. He said the port's gone from a shortage of workers during the pandemic to a surplus of longshoremen today due to the lower cargo volumes. Yet, the port is seeking to retain its pool of experienced workers given the likelihood of future growth. Many underutilized workers are being trained on new equipment and procedures. Along with the Council on Port Performance, his organization also continues to conduct outreach and recruitment in surrounding communities to prepare people for work in the industry. The hiring process, he said, is much improved now that it's overseen by the New Jersey State Police rather than the previous Waterfront Commission. As part of members' reports to the committee, I shared that Morris County was selected to receive a grant of $558,000 from the New Jersey Department of Rail Transportation's Rail Freight Assistance Program for the design of the Chester Branch Rail Bridge over Berkshire Valley Road in Roxbury. It will provide sufficient clearance to curtail incidents of trucks striking the bridge, which happens unfortunately quite frequently right now. The improvements were recommended as part of the Berkshire Valley Road Truck Circulation Project completed through the NJTPA's Freight Concept Development Program last year. NJDOT shared that the agency continues to work on its truck parking profile study, including outreach to stakeholders and interviews with truck drivers. And Mr. Chairman, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Chairman. Appreciate it. Do we have any questions for Commissioner Shaw before I move on to public participation? Okay, hearing none. It is now time to turn to the public participation section of this meeting. In this session, we take general questions. As a reminder, we advise members of the public that we do have a 3-minute time limit on comments. The timer will be displayed on the screen while you are speaking, and we respectfully ask that you keep your comments within this allotted time. We will start with members of the public who have signed up to speak in advance. Then we will call on anyone else who would like to make a comment. Ted, I'm going to turn this over to you because you can see who might have any questions.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Chairman. So we had no one sign up to speak in advance, but we do know that Bruce Hain, if you're still with us, wanted to speak on the Port Authority project. So Bruce, when you're ready, you have 3 minutes, sir.
All right, thanks a lot. I'd like to, and sorry about chiming in at the wrong time.
That's okay. We've all done that.
I was glad to find out they had done an EIS or a FEIS, and I'm just sorry I missed the comment period because I have quite a bit to say about it. But I just happened to see the notice of your meeting in my email, and I haven't talked about it in some time. Like I say, my name is Bruce Hain, and I'm sort of a gadfly about transportation issues and civil engineering. And I've done a video called Lincoln Tunnel 4th Tube and the Bus Terminal Replacement Project, which explains my position on this project, and it should be interesting at least to see where they intended to put the 4th tube. Now that's not possible because you let the property go, or the Port Authority did. I think there's still an opportunity to have one, but before you locate the terminal, you have to figure out some scenario for a 4th tube. So like I say, it's called Lincoln Tunnel 4th Tube. I don't think there's anything else like that on YouTube, and my YouTube channel is called Bruce Hain, Hain. So I'd be glad if you guys would take a look at that, because I think this version of the bus terminal, it's terrible to cover up those tunnel portals. You know, they were quite elegantly done. They're the most sumptuous tunnel portals in the world, probably, even in the condition they're in, which is disgraceful. So I hope you look at my video, Lincoln Tunnel 4th Tube and the Bus Terminal Replacement Project, and my YouTube channel is called Bruce Hain, Hain. Thanks for listening.
Okay, Bruce, we will make sure that your comments today are indicated in our minutes so that anyone who wants to look at that can look at it. Thank you for your comments. Do we have any other comments or questions today? If not, I'll close the public participation and let you know that our next meeting of NJTPA Board will be held in person at the NJTPA's office in Newark on July 8th at 10:30 a.m. May I have a motion to adjourn?
Morris moves to adjourn.
Second, Middlesex.
Morris moved it, Middlesex seconded it, and I guess we can do just a voice vote on this, correct?
That's correct, sir.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed, stay here and enjoy the sounds. Okay. The meeting is closed. Thank you all, and I hope to see you in person, like I say, on July 8th at 10:30 a.m. right in Newark.
Right.
Goodbye, all.
Chairman.